Hello everyone, Urs here, and welcome to my initial Let's Play of modded Civilization 5. If you watch the intro to the channel, you kind of know what it's all about, but in short, I'll be showcasing a couple mods, doing an LP on Immortal difficulty with them enabled, and showing you some pretty cool new civs that the modding community in Civ 5 has come up with. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, these are the mods I will be using today, the first of which is probably the most important, being the civ that I'll be playing. This is Tomatech's the Timurids. We'll get into the details later, but just to highlight is that one there. I'll also be playing with more luxuries and more pantheons. These are two interesting mods that I tend to play with a lot for two reasons. One, more luxuries adds a variety of additional luxuries, such as olives, tea, cocoa, things of that nature. And it also has a feature called regionalization, which means that there's a higher chance that every civilization, every distinct player in the game, AI and human alike, will have a unique luxury that they have a lot of, which generally tends to create positive trading relationships. You have, let's say, 5 of ivory, and there's pretty much a guarantee that not everyone else on the map is going to have ivory, which is nice, which means you can trade it with everyone else for actually diplomatic bonuses and actually having an economy instead of you getting the lucky person having whales, and everyone else has whales on the map too. So more luxuries is great. I really enjoy it, and I think it just adds to the game without really tweaking too much. More pantheons kind of runs off of the more luxuries mod, and because there are more luxuries, the same coder who decided to do more luxuries decided to put more pantheons in to support those luxuries, tweak a couple existing pantheons, and in general make it a little more complete. He buffed some really weak ones. Goddess of Protection comes to mind, which the AI loves. But all in all, again, another good addition, I think, and really kind of balances and adds more fun to the game as far as pantheons are concerned. The last mod I'll be playing with is Events and Decisions. This mod is pretty recent, hence it's only version 1. It was inspired by some activities in Civ 4 and also specifically Europa Universalis 4, if you ever played that game as a Paradox Grand Strategy. The idea here is that every Civ will have decisions to make in its lifetime. You will have a new resource called Magistrates to make those in. And additionally, there will be random events popping up that you'll have to deal with. They'll be positive, negative, or maybe both, depending on which way you pick to deal with them. I think it adds a lot to the game and adds a lot of historical context to the game. Every civ, every mod that I will play likely will have support for events and decisions because I like the mod so much. I think it's a really nice addition. Kind of really rounds out the Civ 5 experience and gives you more of a feel for what your civ can actually do and what the historical context they come from. So, we'll be playing with these 4, and I'll just move on, and I'll catch you all when the game loads up. As you can see, I'm going to quickly set up the game. I'll get you a little earlier than I expected. But I'll set up the game real quick and pick the modded civ here, Timur, the Timurids, and we'll go over the unique abilities, the unique buildings, and unique units later. Just looking at advanced setup, every AI civ is going to be random. I'll be playing on Oval template, which is pretty much a Pangea with a bunch of bays and bodies of water digging into the sides, so it tends to be a little tighter than a normal Pangea, given the oval shape. It's kind of like, it's got room for 7.5 civs, so usually it keeps the game pretty interesting. There's some border friction right away. I like it because there's a blend of going naval and just staying straight up land warfare or defense, depending on how you play. So I'll be playing on Oval, on Immortal, as I discussed, and pretty much everything else is standard. I'm going to get rid of policy and promotion saving. The only time-saving thing I'm going to have is quick combat because, well, the animations can take a while. So, see you in game. Okay, and here we are, starting our Civ 5 journey with Timur of the Timurid Empire. I'm just going to quickly go over the units, this unique building, and the unique ability so we have an idea of what this one actually entails. The unique ability is Jewel of the East. The first part of it is pretty simple. After capturing your first city, the yields of your palace are increased by 1. So palaces have a base yield of culture, science, production, etc. and all those yields will be added by one once you capture your first city. So almost something of a militaristic bent, and the sooner you get that, likely the better. Additionally, if you conquer a city, captured buildings will be constructed in your capital if they are not already present. Really cool, especially when you go militaristic. You tend to fall behind sometimes on building since you're building a lot of military. This is a way of kind of catching up and making up for that deficiency. So it's a neat strategic choice. Kind of a neat way to play a militaristic civ. The special unit is the Tumen. It's a Lancer replacement. God knows we have enough of those already. Lancers, in general, not the world's most interesting unit. You pretty much only have them because you upgrade pikemen. This one might actually be worth it to have. It could be fun. It's basically a Lancer replacement. Generates gold when killing enemy units or attacking cities, so a nice way of financing your military campaigns. Could be fun. We'll see how many of those I end up actually using. The unique building is the Maidan. It is a university replacement. So this one's really neat, and I think is really valuable for the reason you probably don't think it may be valuable. So it's kind of got a constabulary rolled into a university. It reduces the enemy spy stealing rate by 20%. That's pretty cool. I think the most important thing actually for me is the cost, actually. If you look at the base university cost, this has a reduced production cost, which means that you can get these up sooner, and playing on Immortal and Deity, getting your universities up is the only way really to keep competitive on science. And this will kind of help you get over that initial hump, get those universities up quickly, and start catching up and ultimately surpassing the AI in tech. So these will be really good. These will be really fun. And the spy stealing rate reduction and the trade route length bonus, nice little things, but I think the most important thing, honestly, is the production reduction, in my opinion, since science kind of is king in Civ, especially on the higher difficulties. So, without further ado, let's get going. Okay. Alright, well, we are starting near a desert. Luckily, there's Oasis. And right here you can see one of the new luxury resources, tea, sitting right next to our potential city location. I think I'm going to move my warrior a little bit and see if I can find some fresh water. I don't know, the start could be better. Desert wheat isn't great, especially without any sort of fresh water, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, well, it's not fresh water, but that is a coast, which is awesome. There's an atoll right there, which can be a very productive tile early, and eventually worked for some good bonuses, especially with a lighthouse. And settling on the coast gives us good trading capabilities. Keeps us in range of 2 luxuries, tea and silver, which is good. And the Oasis gives us some fresh water. These hills can hold 2 food farms once we get civil service. So I think, without too much of a question in my mind, I'm going to roll up to the coast and see if I can't drop a city right there. This looks pretty good for me. This way I keep in range of all 3 wheat tiles. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And also have some decent starting tiles with the bison here. So I think that's really good. I'm going to roll up to the coast with my settler and then pass the turn. Alright, so AI processes its wonderful thinking process. Here we go. Alright, dropping the city. The hill will give us some production bonuses, some defense bonuses. Notice there's already a combat strength 17. In the interim, I'm going to send the warrior around and see what I can... Ooh, even more luxuries. 1, 2, 3, perfect. So we have 3 sources of tea within range of the capital. That's really good. It gives us some trading opportunities early. I like to start with a scout, mainly because getting to ruins, seeing who your neighbors are, and getting that delicious, delicious bonus money from city-states is great. Extra production from the capital should help, sitting on the hill as it is. That said, I'm going to try to get some pottery because potentially we may be a little food starved depending on how our borders expand, but looks like we're expanding to the buffalo, so we should be okay. If you don't know this trick already, you should always set your cities to production focus and then manually lock the tiles. Really quickly, without getting into too much detail, Civ calculates population growth first and everything else later as the turn turns over. So if you're ready to grow, you have enough food, the first thing Civ will do on your new turn is poop out the new worker, new citizen to work the tiles. and he will be dropped into the tile of your focus of choice. This has the nice benefit of saying, let's say you get dropped into production, gold, or science, or however you, what have you, you will get that benefit after the city grows. If you lock food focus, however, that guy will get dropped on a food tile, which has already been calculated, so you'll get no bonus on that turn, so to speak. So you basically won't get that yield. The idea is keep your cities growing, but lock production to focus. That way, whenever your new citizen gets kicked out, you get that extra 2 or 3 or 4 production. May not sound like much initially, but over time, especially from the beginning of the game, it will add up, and it is a good thing to do. All right, enough preaching. Let's turn the turn over and see what happens. All right, well, not much to do except send the warrior around. Ooh, ruins already. This is good. This is good. And a city-state, so maybe 30 gold waiting for us in the near future. We'll have to wait till next turn to grab that. So far, it looks nothing too dramatic as far as the start goes. City-states are nice. Let's see. All right, free pop. I like it. Early addition, early growth. Really not going to help our growth too much because we don't have that much food available. How much is this tile? Ooh, 80 gold. Never mind. All right. Well, we'll just have to see what we can do with that. Maybe the city-state will give us some money and we can work out potentially buying that tile. Genoa, mercantile, 30 gold, so no one is immediately next to us, which is not too bad. Alright. Still waiting on that scout to pop out. I'm really hoping I will grow to this buffalo soon. We got... yeah. Alright. And a barbarian camp. Well, they're always around. Let's see what else we can find. Maybe there's a natural wonder waiting for us somewhere in the fog. We will see. Oop, silk. Okay, another unique luxury, so maybe a second city down here. Keep the happiness up. And let's send the scout north. And yet another source of tea. This one on grass, so this actually be pretty good to work for growth. I'm going to set the monument up just to get that extra culture. If I find a culture ruin, great. If not, I want that monument out as soon as possible to grab the initial social policy. And more barbarians. Wonderful. Well, this is going to be interesting. I got 2 camps relatively close to my capital. So these guys may become a problem at some point. Let's hope not too much of one. Alright, but these guys are hiding more ruins, so this is pretty good. Alright, well this is pretty slick. I've got... that's pretty close to the capital, but this could be a potential city location. Got some fresh water down here, some sheep, an extra luxury. Mountain for an observatory. A nice 50% science boost, which is huge. Basically a national college, just coming way later. Some crab up here too. Not sure if it's worth it to settle a city up in the tundra as of yet, but maybe I'll find a good reason for it. But it's something to keep in mind. And more tea, because, you know, like I said, regionalized luxuries, we have a lot of tea to be able to trade. Okay. Even more ruins. This is a pretty cool start. I'm not complaining. I have seen worse starts. Lots of ruins gives you lots of bonuses early, which is always helpful. Okay, and we have pottery. So, we can either decide to... ooh, another city-state. Wow, look at this. Just me jumping from one thing to another. Well, let's hit this ruin first. Maybe it'll give us the technology. That would be pretty cool. So, we'll be finishing pottery. 20 culture. That would be my second favorite thing to get. Given that I haven't met any aggressive neighbors... and, well, you know what, let me buy scout before I make that call, because who knows, whoops, who knows what might actually happen here. Alright, well, scout archer, that is a nice bonus. I might start clearing some of these camps early with him, just because, yeah, they can get annoying being this close. But as I was saying, I don't see any really aggressive AIs right next to my borders, and I look relatively isolated, actually, which is pretty funny. So I'm probably going to just open tradition. It's allegedly the strongest start in the game. Border expansion is huge, and the extra culture boost early is nice to keep you pumping out those social policies quickly. So I'm probably just going to get the tradition opener, probably go full tradition, unless I really need a militaristic bent or something. I'll hit animal husbandry next just to see if there's any horses in the area and see if I can start improving cows or what have you. Bison require trapping, no cows or anything, but You know, always good to have, especially with sheep. And there's a new barbarian spawn already. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Mombasa, 30 gold, so no one met these guys either. Interesting. I seem to be pretty isolated here. Well, there's a really safe city location with sheep, fish, whales in range, deer, some more tea. Okay, this is pretty good. I'm thinking, let's see what the overlap would be on the tiles. 1, 2, 3 is maximum work. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so this looks like an awesome location. So I get deer within 3, 2 sets of wheat. I get 1, 2, 3, this fish, and the whales, and the sheep. Okay, so this might definitely be city number 2 pretty early on. Seems a pretty solid location, pretty safe. And 1 turn to boulder growth thanks to tradition, so I'll actually be able to grow this bloody city one of these days. And get off of the 1 food tiles, which not so good this early on. Okay, let's just check out up here, make sure there's no barrier reef hiding out in the tundra. I've seen it happen. Alright, well, this is weird, because I'm not quite sure which way to go. Let's see if we can check down here. Maybe there's a civ I can actually meet. Alright, well, so far so good. So far so good. Probably gonna... Oh, crap. Well, there's a player early on. 1 turn loss of growth, and there are the barbarians on cue. So let's deal with these punks and relocate this guy to here because we want to grow to 3 pop as soon as possible so we can get that settler out ASAP. Pardon me. I need something to drink one moment. Okay, so looks like we'll be okay on food once our borders start expanding. So I'm not going to start the granary now. I'm going to start working on a worker because we will need to start improving some of this stuff ASAP, especially wanting to drop our first 3 cities quickly. And as soon as I go to 3 pop, chances are I will move to settler so I can start getting those cities out. Alright. Warrior time. Find me some peoples. Ooh, there's Kilimanjaro. One of my favorite wonders. Natural wonders, that is. 3 food, 2 culture, and you get an awesome altitude training bonus for your units that move next to it, which is double movement in hills, extra combat bonus in hills. Basically, you become the awesome. So Kilimanjaro is great. If I can find a good way to justify dropping a city all the way over here through 2 city-state territories, I may look into that. Maybe an AI will drop a city and I'll have to take it at some point. We'll see. All in all, that's pretty cool. I love seeing Kilimanjaro. That is a great wonder to have. And I'll probably move my warrior there just for the bonus. And, well, here's Pocatello. He tends to be relatively peaceful, but he has that annoying, unique ability of claiming every ounce of land next to him, which is annoying, but given that I'm blocked off by mountains and city-states, it might not be too bad. Nothing too amazing. No gold to trade, so we're done. Yeah, he looks like he's coming from the southeast, so looks like it won't be crowded out too badly. If he was right next to me, that could be problematic. I was going to move slowly and take pot shots at the barbarian camp just to make my life easier while my city takes care of the other one. And this punk is probably thinking of taking that ruin. Luckily, I think I will get there first. But yeah, this is what I was talking about with the barbarians everywhere. This is going to be I'm going to have to deal with these camps pretty quick, just so I stop getting threatened, so my workers can work in peace. Maybe, if I'm lucky, I'll get some city-state quests for it, but maybe not. Of course, I got shot. Let's see what we get. Boom! A map! That's not as bad as... Okay, well, actually, it's pretty crappy. Hey, look, there's an ocean to the west. And there's an ocean to the west. Wow, I did not know that. Allow me to subscribe to your newsletter. Okay. So much for that. I'm just going to keep going down tradition since I have a non-insanely aggressive neighbor. Just a guy who tends to expand a lot. And, of course, we got more barbarians spawning, which means I have to start dealing with the archers now. Oh, so much fun. I actually might pop out another scout relatively quickly just so I can use my archer for defense and drop him elsewhere so I can keep exploring. I'm not even sure which side of the map I'm on right now, so this is actually kind of interesting. I'm going to bring my warrior back just because I seem to be getting... It is barbarian central up here, and it'll be fun. What are we waiting for? Who needs orders? No one needs orders. Next turn, come on. Stop delaying the mode. Someone found a pantheon already. There we go. Well, here's the upgraded ranged combat bonus Goddess of Protection with the more pantheons mod. It gives not just the 20 50% range city strength, but also cities heal your adjacent units for 20 HP per turn, which is pretty good. That's actually pretty darn good for defensive oriented civs. AI seems to really like that one still, and it hasn't changed with the mods, so go figure. Okay, 3 pop. So sometimes you would want to kick out that settler right away. Sometimes you want to finish the worker. I think, honestly, just because I am deathly afraid of Pocatello dropping cities everywhere, just kind of, I honestly wouldn't put it past him to run through the city-state territory and just drop a settler like right here and take up all this tasty, tasty real estate. So I think I'm actually going to switch production as I was planning. And notice again, new citizen popped out. I got 2 production, 2 gold, pretty much for free, just for his very existence before I reallocate him. So I think we're going to change to a settler. And then the neat part about settlers is that while settlers are being produced, you can starve your city and it won't matter, because technically all the food is going to produce a settler. So you can go full production that would normally starve your city, and you got nothing to worry about. Let's see if we can cut this down from 14. Here we go already. We got 12 turns. 11 turns. Alright, it looks like 11 is going to be the best we can do. Yeah, 11. Alright. Food is sometimes counted as 50% for production, so 2 food equals 1 production. Sometimes not. I'm really actually not sure how that calculation works out. But more or less, this is kind of what we're looking at. A lot of gold, which is nice, and some production to kick out that first settler. So we're doing good. 11 turns, that's acceptable, and I think I'm going to drop them right there, because that city is going to be really strong given time. But again, no fresh water on any of these cities yet, which is kind of concerning, but I think I can make do, especially with all the fish resources. So we're doing okay. Alright, so our luxuries are calendar luxuries and mining luxuries, techs that we don't have. I will start with mining, I think, just because it's quicker. Then again, I'm not going to be getting a worker for a while, so maybe we should just hit calendar instead. Let's do that. Let's do calendar first. That way I can get these out quick and maybe make those tiles useful. Alright. See if we got more barbarian troubles or we have a short reprieve. But I am going to kick out a scout right after this settler to start exploring more of the continent to see what we can do. And those guys are just following us, aren't they? Bastards. Alright. Okay, so let's deal with this archer. Again, scout archers. Move into forests. No movement penalty. Yay. I'm going to keep clearing these guys out because I want a nice straight path for my settler when they go east to drop my other city. So far, nothing too dramatic has happened, which is, you know, not bad. A little less drama. Not too shabby. Alright, keep bombarding those guys. You keep moving here. Notice we're going to run over the mountains with the Kilimanjaro promotion. So sweet. I love it. Alright. So far we just met Pocatello, which is kind of sad. I really wish I could meet more, but I think I'm isolated on some random, horribly shaped peninsula, which it's not great, but also defensively pretty awesome. But it also just means I'm going to need to move pretty far in order to do anything with other people. So this will be cool. AIs, rather. Yeah, other people too, sometimes, sort of. Not really. Okay. So this looks like pretty much the end of the line here. I'm going to drop the warrior down here and kind of... No! Wrong move! Ugh, I hate when that happens. Alright. Thinking ahead of myself. Getting ahead of myself. Not good. Okay. Well, we will move that archer back. And, you know, honestly, since you don't know where I am, trading embassies early, something that some people love to do. I generally do not, because you never know when the AI thinks it's really strong. Son of a gun. I'll explain that later. We've got Monty. Hey, Monty. So Monty comes in 2 flavors. Monty comes in Piety Monty, who decided that his ways of horrible murder and bloodshed are kind of behind him, and he totally goes full-on religion, drops a religion down on you, starts spamming you with missionaries. Or you have Tradition Honor Monty, which decides that your continued existence on this sphere, this dimension, this world, is no longer needed, and he will just keep throwing units at you until you die. Let's hope we have Piety Monty this game, but I'm not holding out hope. Luckily, I've got, you know, really good choke points here. He may have a much closer neighbor along the lines of Pocatello to throw his units at, to the meat grinder. I'm hoping he can absorb some of the impact. But having Monty as your local neighbor, not so good. Really not so good. Very aggressive, very militaristic Civ. So we'll need to be planning for that. Which basically means I may be rethinking where I'm dropping that first city. This isn't a great spot to drop it on, but this will pretty much stop Monty from dropping a really annoying settler right here. Kind of lock off this territory and give me a ridiculously good choke point in case he decides to start sending military units my way. Because this will give me very few lines of attack on my city, where a lot of lines for defense. And this will give me horses, silk, probably not a lot of food early, but we can make up with that with some tile purchases and so forth. And of course another barbarian spawn, but that's the whole point of trimming your barbarian numbers down. Legalism is great. Love this policy. Monument in every city. Once you research drama and poetry, you'll get a free amphitheater in your capital. Good for that first great work of writing. All in all, pretty cool. Yeah, that's Monty's capital. Relatively close to ours. We'll see which way he goes. Actually, let's see. What policies did everyone go? Okay, Monty went full honor, so this is turbo-aggressive rage Monty. We'll need to deal with him rather proactively, rather quickly, and put iron. He's going to keep throwing Aztecs and Jaguar warriors into our faces repeatedly. So he may be my first target to deal with, but we will see. Okay, what, more barbarians? Seriously? Come on, guys. You can do better than that. You're better than that. Alright, I'm going to bring this warrior back just for the sake of sanity. I'm going to keep bombarding these guys so we can prune our barbarian numbers, and we'll keep turning the turns over. So nothing too exciting. Kind of using my scout to get my territory cleaned up because there's so many barbarians now. Alright, so now Shoshone know where my capital is. It's relatively safe to sell them my embassy, since I'm not giving them anything they don't know already. And it's 1 GPT. I'll trade them like a horse later or something. He loves horses. And maybe we'll go from there. Alright. Getting those promotions. Tasty, tasty promotions on the archers already. Going pretty well. Alright, I'm going to keep sending this warrior back, and we're almost ready to grab our first settler. Alrighty, well, we've been trimming the barbarian numbers down, so it's going to be relatively safe, I think, to move my settler away, unless this guy... No, he's going to drop right on the sill. Yeah, he is. Of course he is. Okay, well, here is the first thing from the Events and Decisions mod. This is a random event that just happened. A solar eclipse. The nation stares in awe as the sun slowly disappears behind the black disk suspended in the sky. Scary. Scary stuff. The world turns to darkness despite it being midday. Your subjects are absolutely terrified. Oh no! This is a positive event. Apparently the only choice is to gain 20 faith. So, hell, I'll take that. Might even get me a Pantheon while I'm at it. Yay, I can get around here thanks to Kilimanjaro. Did I tell you how much I love Kilimanjaro? Okay. So the annoying thing about this barbarian is right now he just gave himself zone of control over my settler, which means I can't move so easy, which is quite annoying, given that I want to get him out here as quickly as possible. But that's what archers are for. Maybe I can bait him here. He will likely not be able to take my settler because of zone of control of the city. So hopefully we should be able to do well. I will finish up my worker and reset the tiles to actual growth so I don't starve horribly. Alright, you know, I could get extra food or extra production. I think I'm actually going to want the extra production to kick out that worker just that little bit faster, and I will lock this tile down for that. Come on now. Sometimes there's a locking issue when barbarians decide to enter your territory and screw up your system. Alright, cool. Well, I will think I'll take one or two more turns and probably call it a session. I think now that we've got our calendar resource down, I'll probably get mining for the other luxury. And I'll turn the turn over. We'll see what we can do with this crazy, crazy barbarian. Basically kill him and move on with our lives, I think is the plan. Okay, yep, so he was zone controlled by the city. He could not take my settler, even though he clearly really wanted to. I will jump my settler out here. And I'm not too worried about Pocatello sending all these scouts out here. These are Pathfinders, 8 strength, scout movement, pretty cool, early rush unit. They're nice. He's probably just trying to kill this barbarian camp because they do that, I guess. But we can found a pantheon, which is pretty cool, which is an involved decision, which means I will take that up next time. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like this, please consider leaving a like. It'll help me out to see if this kind of content is good. Feel free to leave comments, criticisms, or otherwise. I'll see if I can incorporate them to my later series. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next session, and we'll continue our modded journey through Civ 5. Thanks so much. See you later.